can they literally keep filing because they're just like whiny butts about whatever and they don't like what, I mean, they can just keep drawing this crap into the court, right?
Yeah.
Hi, friends. Welcome to My Divorce Real Estate. I'm Amber Gifford, and we are so lucky again because we have Mia Beratowski, who is a family law attorney in Houston surrounding areas, here with us to talk about legal family law, divorce, just to kind of give you some little in-depth information to get you going if you have questions. I always like to cover stuff like this with our clients. I know we're in real estate, but like we do the full spec of it, I guess, and we're always referring people and we want to know the basis of it. Plus I'm divorced as well. Right. And so I'm familiar with a lot of the stuff. But one of the things that I hear all the time, I've been divorced for 5 years and I can't, this isn't working for me. What do I need to do? I'm not able to get, for example, the passports. They won't give them to me, or whatever the case is. Something's not working in your final order and you need to do what's called a modification. You may hear that word. Like, what the heck is a modification?
Yeah, so essentially what that is you're trying to go back. You already have a final order, whether that be a final decree of divorce, or if you're not married but you have children, it's called a suit affecting the parent-child relationship, or a SAPSR. So either of those things are final orders. They've been signed by the court. And it is what it sounds like. You're trying to go back and modify something in that prior order.
So not fun.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It happens though.
It happens. One thing I like to say right off the bat about modifications is you can only modify child-related provisions, generally.
Okay.
You cannot go back and try to divide property differently in a divorce. So
Good
if
to know.
you let your spouse have the house and you didn't get any money for that, or whatever it may be, and you wake up and you're like, I shouldn't have done that. Too bad, so sad.
Yeah.
So you're really looking to modify child-related provisions in a modification, whether that be possession and access, whether that be conservatorship, child support, anything like that you can modify. So
Do they have to go to an attorney to modify child support? My understanding is just go to Texas OAG, and even though they're slow as molasses.
Right. You can use the Office of the Attorney General to modify child support. It's a slow process. If you have good reason to believe that your child support should be changed in a drastic way, it's probably best to hire an attorney to do that.
Good to know. So a modification is basically making a change to an order that you already have,
Right.
mainly regarding possession, access of kids. So I think we should touch on this too in regards to a modification. Like, say there's some change that needs to happen because you're on a time constraint, so it would be called an enforcement. So
Right. Sometimes those two, the other option after you have your final order, you can either do a modification, or sometimes you need an enforcement, or sometimes you need both. An enforcement is also what it sounds like it is. You're trying to enforce a prior provision of the order. So you're not necessarily trying to change it, but the other party isn't abiding by it. For example, they are supposed to return the kids to you Sunday at 6 p.m., but they never are on time. And I mean, when I mean not on time, it's not 15 or 20 minutes. I mean hours, days they're withholding the kids from you.
big difference.
Big difference. You can also enforce provisions of child support if the other party is not paying their child support properly, timely, or the correct amount, or not paying at all.
Is there a statute of like limitation regarding either one of these? Like, can you just like, okay, your divorce was finalized this year and it's been 4 months? Because I always thought there was a year.
You always have to remember in a modification, now you're working up against that prior order. So it kind of is like you're on an uphill battle because that prior order is already in place. So you can't really come back and complain about things that you should have already complained about in the divorce process.
True.
The standard for a modification is that there's been a material and substantial change since the date of the prior order. That's really important. That since the date of the prior order, because if it's something that you should have already brought up that happened, say you got a divorce in 2023, but you know, you come to me a few months later, but this incident that you want to complain about happened in 21 or 22. Too bad, so sad,
yeah.
right? Typically that's not gonna cut it. So it has to be since the date of the last order. Something has happened. It's been a material and substantial change.
Well, and for example, you mentioned possession of a child, picking them up on time or being late. Like you're saying significant, you know, hours, days, like, and you can't just say it. You need to have record, like on this date,
Right.
like you guys need a timeline. Like if you're going to try to do some sort of an enforcement or modification, you got to be organized and know what's transpired.
And the
and
person
when.
filing the modification, the burden's on them to prove, you know, that they've met this legal burden. So you've got to have proof, and basically you need to convince the judge that it was material and substantial, that it should be changed. And like I said, you're always going to be working up against that final order.
Last question. So can cuckoo people, no offense, can they literally keep filing because they're just like whiny butts about whatever and they don't like what, I mean, they can just keep drawing this crap into the court, right?
Yeah, so this situation stinks.
It happens.
It happens, and I hate it, and it makes me like, ugh, you know, but I hate to say, like, I mean, there's nothing preventing someone.
The answer is
from
yes. She
filing
doesn't
a
have to say anything.
It could get dismissed pretty
Right,
easily,
but what a waste of time.
What a waste of time and court resources.
So what I'm taking away from this, people, here we go, is like, just document everything. Don't be just like, oh, you're 5 minutes late, you're 10 minutes. I mean, like, really and truly, if you got a significant issue, don't just try to stick it to your ex just because something this is what I always say. Is this going to matter in 10 years, 5 years, 2 years? Like, legitimately, like, you are drawing negative attention to yourself. Really, like, I get it. There are people that need enforcements for situations and they need modifications, money, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, let's really ask yourself the first question: is this going to matter?
Right.
And if you need it, now you know the difference between a modification and an enforcement when you have children or you're going through a divorce. So we hope this information was helpful. Thank you so much for all your knowledge all the time. We just love you.
Of course.
As always, we're here to bring you real life experiences to all your real estate. I'm going to add in their legal needs.
Yes.
Thanks so much. Like and subscribe. Bye.